Good afternoon, Sharks. Thanks so much for having me on Shark Tank tonight. Today, I'm going to present to you a groundbreaking idea that is going to fundamentally change the world and help people. Now, the future is right now with Bankify. 100% of people go to sleep every single night, for the most part, with some exceptions. Now, people generally should sleep 6 to 8 hours a night, although this tends to be very variable. And also people should sleep at a consistent schedule around the same time every night. Now, this is a common misconception that a lot of people have, is that as long as we get enough sleep, it'll be sufficient for us. But actually changing around the time at which we go to sleep can have really adverse effects on our entire body and lead to diseases like potentially even cancer. And this has been found to be an issue in a lot of ship workers. So that's kind of a tangent, but fun fact. Now, the asleep market. There is $1 trillion industry ready for disruption of people that are asleep for half of their lives. There is a demonstrated consumer need. People sleep all over the world, and we just need to capitalize off of this. Now, what do we know about sleep? Well, first off, before I go into what we know about sleep, how do we measure sleep? Now, there's a few different machines that we could use. We could use an EEG, which will measure the activity in your brain, an EMG, which will measure the activity in your muscles. We can use EOG. We can use a polysomnography. I know it's tough to pronounce, which will monitor your breathing along with your heart rate and all sorts of other factors, so we can get a full comprehensive view of sleep. And all of this research on sleep has led to the discovery of circadian rhythms. Now, all organisms have circadian rhythms, and the circadian rhythm is a natural clock that you have in your body. So all of your cells are synced up to this large sort of system level clock, which is your circadian rhythm. And this is the root of why we need a consistent amount of sleep every night, is in order to be aligned with that circadian rhythm, so our body can function properly and in sync. All right, so now we'll get into the different stages of sleep. Now, what I want you to notice in this slide is that when we have relaxed wakefulness, our brain waves are small. They aren't moving very sporadically like they are in stage 1 and stage 2 and stage 3 and 4. And this is actually very similar to this other state of sleep called REM sleep. REM sleep happens when you're dreaming. And this is when the activity in your brain is most like when you're awake, which is really interesting. And there's also other stages of sleep. Stage 1 and stage 2 tend to happen as you're falling asleep. And stage 3 and 4 is generally characterized as deep sleep. And it generally has these waves in them called delta waves, which are sort of large in wavelength and characterizes slow, deep sleep. And often a lot of memory forming is associated with that deep sleep. Now, going into the entire night, how much of our sleep is in different stages? Now, we actually find that we have more and longer periods of REM sleep throughout the night, whereas earlier in the night, we tend to have more deep sleep. So this is where the value proposition of my business really kicks in. Why don't people buy things in their REM sleep? If our brainwave is similar to the way it is when we're awake, why wouldn't we buy things when we're awake, but not when we're asleep? And could you imagine going to sleep at night and having a dream and then having the item of your dreams appear on your doorstep every single morning? I couldn't. So I'm introducing the Sleep Assistant. The Sleep Assistant is a fully immersive sleep chamber that will enable users to sleep while a machine tracks their brainwaves using EEG and actually purchase things for them using machine learning that are likely to align with their desires. Now, you see we have incredible product market fit from these graphs and demonstrated consumer interest. So thank you. And I posted a little bit of picture of coffee in case any of you want to drink it and shake up some of the adenosine in your brain, which is actually the neurotransmitter, which the buildup of it causes sleep. Awesome. So does anybody have any questions? Hi, yes, I am an investor, and I have a quick question. You mentioned that 100% of people sleep every night. I was wondering how sleep disorders like insomnia affect that. Awesome. I really appreciate this question. I was hoping somebody would ask me. So there's a lot of different sleep disorders. Insomnia, as you mentioned, is one of them, and it relates to people not being able to fall asleep at night when they want to, and that actually being a hindrance to their lives. There's also sleep apnea, in which the upper chamber of breathing gets blocked off during sleep, which can cause people to wake up in the middle of the night. People have night terrors, in which they wake up screaming as a result of a terrifying dream in the night, and people also sleepwalk, which causes them to walk around at night during their sleep. So for these edge cases, our machine will not actually work, and we will have a label that says you definitely should not use this machine if you do something like sleepwalk, because then God knows what items are going to show up at your door the next day. Any other questions? Hi, yeah. Listen, I'm not really considering investing, but I just have a quick question. Are you tired right now? I'm kind of tired. Why do you ask? Well, tiredness I've seen being characterized as having poor reaction time, memory, communication, situational awareness, mood, judgment, attention, irritability, apathy, attention, and microsleeps. And frankly, that description sounds like the description of you. So no, sir, I will not be investing. Well, I guess I'd better get some sleep. Drowsiness is red alert. When you don't get enough sleep, you can't function the same way as you did before. And for all those reasons that you just mentioned, it's really important that people don't do critical functionalities that are safety critical, like operating machinery or driving when they're sleepy. All right, investor as well. Please don't invest in my idea because it's a terrible idea, but make sure to get enough sleep tonight. Thank you.